Hi, my name is Angus Iglesias, and today I'm going to be presenting to you on hosted PBX solution. And what I have with me today is a router with a patch cord. I also have a photograph that shows the back of the phone set with the connections. And then the next thing I have is a diagram that shows, it's kind of small, but what it shows is the connections to the phones and how it works from in the cloud to the actual hosted PBX platform. So, what is hosted PBX? Is it any better than a regular phone system with copper wiring? So, what a hosted PBX is, with the solution, it provides a proven platform for increased productivity and customer satisfaction. This is available because a service integrates seamlessly with technology. It offers convenient and efficient solution for all organized telephone needs. So what I'm going to start with here is my PowerPoint presentation. So this is my beginning here, and my name, my class, and my professor. And then with the next slide, what I'm going to show is what is a hosted PBX solution. So what it does is we want to install these phones to provide internet and voice services at one central location. It uses Cat6 wiring. I'll explain more to you within the next slide that I show you here. So traditional phone system versus hosted environment. Okay, so right here we have a traditional phone setup, and then on this slide here, this picture, we have a hosted PBX environment. Now, I'm not sure if you can see very good, but right here on the left with the traditional environment, you have a PBX, and then with the PBX phone system, you're going to have copper wiring ran to each location, each desk, and then from there you're going to have it ran to the handset, the phone set, with more copper wiring, and then with the central PBX area, what you're going to need is you're going to need multiple 25 pair cables, and those cables then will terminate within the phone system for each line itself. So there's a lot of copper wiring, a lot of work, a lot of labor that takes place. Okay, and then you have your end users and you have your desktops here. But the desktops, those are totally separate from their phone system. Those aren't connected off the same phone or nothing like that. You have to have individual wiring that's ran to the same central locations of the desks in order to get internet service from a different router, different platform, internet platform. With the hosted PBX environment, what you have here is you have a main router, and then from that main router is going to connect to a switch. From the switch, you're going to connect to a patch panel, and from the patch panel, it's going to go back to all the desks areas with Cat5e or Cat6 cabling. And it's going to be a direct run from the server room to the wall where the desk's located at. And then from there, you're going to have a patch cord. The patch cord is going to plug in to one handset, one phone set. And from the back of that phone set, you have the capability to plug in to your computer for internet service. So then you only need one single Cat5, Cat6 run to provide you with voice and internet service. And that will save you money over the long time. So my next slide here is what's required for a hosted PBX solution. Okay, so what's required, you want to make sure you have enough bandwidth. If you don't have enough bandwidth on your network with a hosted solution, what's going to take effect, it's going to cause big time errors and speed issues over the network. Okay, so you want to make sure you have sufficient bandwidth. Without sufficient bandwidth, you're going to see the network slow down quite a bit because the hosted PBX solution, it shares the bandwidth with the voice and internet service. The Cat5e, Cat6 cabling, that's a requirement. You can't have anything lower, no Cat3, nothing like that. You need to have the Cat5e or Cat6 cabling and a direct run, like I mentioned earlier, from your desktop back to the server room. The next one you need is you're going to have room for your new equipment. You want to either have your equipment in a rack where you could have everything located, or you're going to have some equipment maybe on a backboard that's located by your server rack. And what you really want is your switch. The type of switch you're going to have is a power over Ethernet switch. you want that power over Ethernet switch within your rack right by your patch panel. And the reason being is because those patch cords are going to go from your patch panel right into the switch itself. With the next slide, it's going to show you what is offered with hosted PBX. Okay, so the different solutions that come with the hosted PBX are one-net service, public internet service. When you port, you can port your old existing number from your old carrier to your new internet service provider. You have 4G failover continuity. Now all these things are great because you don't need multiple circuits coming into your building to provide you with a separate one-net service, separate public internet service, or failover service. You could have this one main circuit, most likely a fiber circuit, which will be more than sufficient for your enough bandwidth solution that you need. So you have that main circuit coming in, and off of that main circuit, off of that router, you could provide one-net service, public internet service, 4G failover continuity, and you can port your numbers. So all of this can happen off of one router and one main circuit. So that will save you money from going to different internet service providers to provide you with these different services. On my next slide is your new phones. So you have the four different types of phones here. You have the VVX 1500, VVX 310, VVX 410s, and VVX 600s. So these have different services. Some of them are just main phone features, where you just pick up the phone, you can put someone on hold, and you can transfer phone calls. The other ones are going to provide you with a lot more features for like a receptionist. They need a lot more different features to transfer calls, take messages, for auto attendant and such things like that. So you're going to have your new phones located on your desk for the training that's going to be coming up. Okay. So for my next slide, what I'm going to show you is for training. Now, with this new hosted PBX solution, a lot of people might not know how this works. So there's going to be a trainer that comes out from your internet service provider. They're going to provide a trainer to come out with to your site, and they're going to conduct training within a conference room, maybe hold multiple classes. It all depends how big your organization is. If you install, let's say, 200 phones for an organization, you're going to want to have multiple trainings. You're going to have a handset that's live, and you're going to want to make sure you have one available so when the trainer comes out, they're able to show all the different features that phone set can do. You're going to want to have multiple classes. You're going to want to make sure they take notes. You're going to be able to provide them with a handbook and a website to go and check out their features that they have. They'll also walk through the receptionist through the different features on their handset too, on how to place people on hold, transfer the calls. And then for my next slide, that was my final slide, and that ends my PowerPoint presentation. So what I have here moving on is I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to look at the switch here. This isn't exactly the type of switch, but what the switch is here, it's going to be a power over Ethernet switch. Okay, so with the power over Ethernet switch, like this would plug into the patch panel, this patch cord, into the patch panel that feeds back to the desks. And then from the desk, you're going to plug in another patch cord into the back of the phone, into the wall port that goes back to the patch panel. And then what I have here with this picture is I have the patch cord going into the LAN port, which is going to power up the handset itself. And then you have a PC port, which is going to go into your computer, which would then give you your internet service. You also have your plug that goes into your handset, and that's the back of the handset itself, the phones. Now my next diagram here kind of just shows you a little bit of the phones going to the cloud, going to the hosted PBX platform. So with a hosted PBX solution, you're going to be able to save your company money by combining all of these features into one router, one solution, one platform. And it's going to also keep you from spending extra money on cabling multiple cables ran to the workstation, you could have a converged network that could share the connections on the back of the phone for both voice and internet. So this hosted PBX solution will then make your business more efficient and more effective for the organization overall. Thank you very much.